Everybody, so let me just say this: we're like literally in the last 2-3 lines of the Talmud Devorah. Feels a great accomplishment, and what I'd like to do. It's not just Talmud Devorah. You can read Talmud Devorah in a day, but we did it in a year plus. So really learned it well. It was over 100 hours on Eliezer Shirkoyach. Over 100 hours of video. So there's a lot of yesodis, a lot of tangents, a lot of understanding. But what I'd like to do is two things. Number one is I have here, I'd like to do now a chazara on the whole Talmud Devorah just today and Thursday. And in the Kamarna Rebbe, that's all, wrote over from his Rebbe that told us a synopsis of the entire Talmud Devorah, not including the first paragraph, which we learned and we did a synopsis of. So I just thought we'd go through that synopsis here. And that way it'll remind us of everything that we learned, because there's a lot of material there. The other thing I'd like to do with your cooperation is finish the Chazara, and on Shabbos morning here, like to together make a Kiddush, simple Kiddush, and make a Siyum, and I think that'll be a beautiful thing, what you're supposed to do when you finish Svarim. Learn to be Iyun, and then what I'd like to do is make a haskalah when we do finish the Siyum on Talmud Devorah, make a haskalah on a new sefer. So I was thinking to start Nefesh HaChaim and go through it, be Iyun from top to bottom. We went through it quickly once, but there's no quickly in these things, So unless somebody has a better machshava, I think that's a machshava, not skip to the easy parts, but just really learn through Nefesh HaChaim and then the Mir Hashem, right down by next year. By next year, Parsha Shmos, we should be able to make a Siyum Mir Hashem and Nefesh HaChaim. But Oid Svarim Acherim
in the new building.
In the new building. I mean, it's I don't know what every Baruch Hashem is a dedicated olam, and I appreciate it, because sitting by myself I probably wouldn't do it. But sometimes you start a new sefer, it's a hechatimsa for new people to join. So maybe just invite a friend. So okay, so that's what I'd like to do. So Gil's taking care of the kiddush. Yeah, take care of the kiddush. I don't know what a basic kiddush costs, but $1,000. So. B'li neder, I'll pay whatever's left over from what you don't pay. So,
this Shabbos or?
This Shabbos. If you come, be even give up more about just once. So here he says this is one of 2 pages. I didn't print out the second page yet. This will take us for today. Shemati, sun in the side, beautiful. Shemati Mimari. Remember, this is the Lakatimrei Pninim is what the Kamarna was a Kaddish Vitar heard from his Rebbe that told us. It was one of the one of the Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov. So Shemati Mimari starts off a little bit not Talmud Devorah, but it's worth just reading the words even if I don't know what it means. Shemati Mimari al Maimer Heichadanashka Aru Rekia Bahade Adodi. There's a mimer in the Zohar that there's a place where the Nashki Arurakia, where the earth kisses the heaven, Nashika. It's not just where heaven and earth meet, wherever that is, but it's the Nashki Arurakia Bahada Dodi, Lakasher, Ulachaber, Maisa Hagashmi Beruchnias, to take everything that's in this world, gashmius, and to be makasher it with ruchnius. What an avodah! I mean, this Rabbi says like an avodah for life. It's avodah for life. If we can go to work, and as we're working, we can be makasher the ruchnius and the gashmius together. At least know there's such a thing. It infuses everything that we do. Our parnasa, our marriages, our children, our health, everything that's our money, everything is makasher. It doesn't mean necessarily that you got to be like religious all day. I don't know. That's that gets weird. But what I'm saying, not to be that. I'm just like a spiritual person, a spiritual person, or to put it in language that we're familiar with, coming at Tzelem Elikim, Tzelem Elokim. So that's it's a tremendous avodah. Like you can think about this all day long. Doesn't interfere with anything else you do. You think about it all day long, and it has such tremendous, as he's going to teach us in the Devorah taught us, so many ramifications, lamaisa, of what that means. It's not just an esoteric idea, but the idea is l'kasher v'lechaber ma'isa hagashim v'ruchnias al yedei yichudim, and that's what yichudim are. K'moshabir Mari, this is the lashon of Zayar. Maybe do you say this on Shabbos? I do. Azamer b'shvachim l'meil v'pischin. Do you say that? Serious? It's not like it's the first thing on Friday night to say. And it's a straight from the it's written by the Arizal. So particularly poignant. Azamer b'shvachin. This is where Arizal started his Suda with Askinu Sudasa, and then Azamer b'shvachin l'meyal goy pischin divachak al tapuchin dinim kadishin. But I'm just going to skip down here. He goes. The Rosh Tevis of this series is Ani Yitzchak Luria. That's the Arizal. So he says here, Yichabik Labala. It's all from the Arizal. Yichab. What happens on Shabbos? Yichabik Labala. That it's like a husband and a wife hugging each other. Chibuk. And this is our madrega with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On Shabbos is a madrega of Yichabik Labala. A chibuk means when two people that are separated become one. That's the yesod of chibuk. So chibuk, everything that's mine is yours, and everything that's yours is mine. That's a chibuk. It's a holy thing, especially if you're hugging God. It's a holy thing. Like every other holy thing, it could become. You could use it for ultimate tumah, but in the world of kedusha, yichabik bala ubi yesod dila. And you're hugging the essence of the Yesod. We know that Midas HaYesod is exactly this, where, that not just touches, but Mechabik, Chibuk. There's a Chibuk of Shemayim V'Aretz. Da'avin Neichela Ye Katish Katishin. Here's the trick. That I'm willing to give myself over to he or she that I'm hugging, where I'm doing the Chibuk, but that Chibuk, it's not just chibuk, it's a katish katishin. I become zero in that relationship. It's all for the other person. Can you imagine that if a husband and wife are doing chibuk, but the kavanah is completely for the other person? So it's not mayit the hana, except that the hana is coming from the other person instead of coming. In other words, my hanas I'm giving to you, and your hanas you're giving to me. So that's the Yichabik Labala. So when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's Katish Katishin. So the first part of Yichabik Labala is not, like I'm full of myself. The Yichabik Labala means complete Katish Katishin, complete bittul. It's a bittul atzmi. So this is what he explains. Yichabik b'yisoida v'havein. Did I skip? Yichabik labala b'yisoida dilah. Words of the Arizal. Adam oisei yichudim b'dvarim gashmius. When a person is miyached something gashmius to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like hektish, like you're making something hektish, that's called yichudim, nothing more. That's yichudim. Maila madrega tachtoina. You're taking the lowest thing that can exist in this world. Umevarer nitzaisis kedoshim b'yichudim. Naicha derucha l'shchinta. You're taking everything, a piece of nothing, and you're saying, this too is part of Hashem's world. And this too is here to be over as Hashem. So it all becomes, it's all for God. You find that tzaddikim, even sometimes self-imposed, a golus of going me'asar la'asar, from place to place. In other words, whatever it takes. I got to travel here, I've got to travel there, I got to travel in the middle of the night, I got to travel during the day. Whatever it takes, it's katish katisha. So there was a certain selflessness So selflessness doesn't mean just a person who's who's self-deniant. Selflessness means that it can be very fulfilling to be selfless. But selfless means I'm not doing for myself. I'm doing. This is just like the gashmius. The probably the biggest secret of a good marriage. I should be Mekayim what I say. But the biggest secret of a good marriage is I'm in it for you. That's probably the biggest secret, because then, like instead of think about it for a minute. Instead of always judging a person of like, you're acting a little weird now, and better adjust your mood a little bit, or why'd you do that, or that's strange. Instead of constant judging, because judging is judging of how that makes me feel, which is the center of psychoanalysis. But here we're not talking. You don't have to judge. Just accept the person for what they are. Just accept the person for what they are. So then, how can you do that? The only way to do that is it's not about how it makes you feel. So this is what you are. Doesn't mean you should change it. Go pay for a Muslim course or something. But the point is that it's a non-judgmental relationship. It's the same thing. Accepting is just accepting the situation, accepting the midos of another person. Are what you are. So that's what it is. It's probably, I speak for myself, but it's probably a little bit true with everybody. Probably more to accept about us than there is about the other person. It's not like we're perfect and we have to accept all these. But there's a mutual acceptance that goes on. So that's the katish katishin. When it comes to the Ribono Shel Olam, it's easier in a way because we're talking about Hashem, but it's more difficult in a way because life has its challenges. Life has tremendous challenges. Almost not a day goes by without challenges, both for the Ummah Shalema and personally. People have challenges of oini, challenges of health, happiness, just challenges. So the first idea is katish katishin. Just let it dissolve. That's the let it dissolve. Katish katishin means you dissolve it. Me'aser la'aser b'chalishas da'aser ba'aniyas hakol shiyu dvukim ba'or hashchina v'yuchil l'yached yichudim v'layiplu l'mata l'chumrois chalila. Never get down into the gashmius. This is not right. That's not right. That's anger. That's anger. And here we start with the Talmud Devorah. Kibalti mimarish yesh v'adam eser spheres. That we have within us eser spheres. Ki hu olam katan, because a person is a little world. Just like the world has eser spheres, a person is a microcosm of that world. Ki chomash yesh b'olamis elyonim yesh b'nefesh adam. Ki mevor b'Talmud Devorah. This is clear in the Talmud Devorah. Heich l'damis atzmai l'kadish atzmai dugmas haspheres ruchnius elyonos lasos b'toch tachtain. L'ramesh b'elyonim lios ayin botol omavutol bria shvela afila ubezeh yistame la'ayin elyon keser elyon. So first the philosophy of it, and then the lamaisa of it. That in the spheros, we'll start with the spheros. So what's the first of the 10 spheros? Keser. Second, Chachma. Third, Bina. Chachma, Bina, we at least know what the words mean. Right? After everything, we can at least know what the words mean. Keser is basically impossible to understand because it's not something which you can articulate. It's not something which you can touch. Not something which you can feel. And there's no mushal to it. There's no mushal to it. It's not orange. It's not green. It's not big. It's not small. It's a keser. So that madrega of keser is called ayin. Ayin means nothing. The world was created. Yesh me ayin. Ayin is also a thing. Yesh me ayin. Ayin is a thing. It's not ex nihilo as the world translates it. Something from nothing. No, Hashem is not nothing. Why is Hashem nothing? It's X coming from ayin. So ayin is nothing, but because it's beyond anyone's comprehension, anyone's understanding of what they could possibly be. Don't even try. Therefore it's ayin. So David HaMelech said, Esayin hayel harim, me'ayin yaveh Ezri. Not like Shlomo Carlebach translates, from whence cometh my help. First of all, whence is not a word. Whence, from whence cometh my help. But besides that, that's not what it means. I mean, at least on a deep level, what it means is that if you want to get the correct and the full siyata d'shmaya understanding, it's not coming from chachma bina, it's not even coming from chesed or gevurah or anything. It's coming me'ayin. In other words, what we're davening for is that Hashem should help us from the madrega of ayin, from the place which is beyond a place.
But there's nothing. There's no thing.
There's no thing, because thing is already gashmius. So again, it's not something that we can comprehend. But exactly what we're davening for is to help me beyond comprehension. That's exactly the point. In other words, don't help me on my terms. You could go to a doctor and say, I want this, I want that, I want this. That's not the point. Like, help me beyond what's comprehensible. I'm not looking for what's comprehensible. I just want everything to be okay. So it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's ayin, me'ayin. This is David HaMelech understood. He said this, by the way, interesting, when it seemed like everything was wrong in his life. Shaul and Avshalom, like everything, fighting for his malchus, fighting for his health. I mean, he was in a stage of fight. It wasn't all glory, wasn't all happy days. But he understood that there's something above it all, and that's called ayin. And me'ayin yaveh Ezri. Baal Shem Tov said that al tikrei ein mazel Yisrael, but ayin mazel Yisrael. That if you want to have mazel, you want to go so go above the mazel. You want to know what the mazel Yisrael is? Ayin. Because we're not governed by the stars. The stars are already gashmius. Ayin Baal Shem Tov.
Who's this?
Baal Shem Tov. Ayin mazel Yisrael. Ayin mazel Yisrael. Doesn't have nakudas in the Gemara. How do you know it's his name mazel Yisrael? Ayin yaveh Ezri. That's already has nakudas. So what does it mean lamaisa? I don't want to dwell too much because it's a chazara. That's how we act like the Kesser. How do we do this? How do we become ayin? If all the spheres that are in Shemayim are in us, in Nefesh Adam, so that means we have a koach of ayin in us. We know we have a koach of chesed, and we know we have a koach of netzach. We certainly know we have a koach of malchus, but what's our koach of ayin? What's that koach? Ayin. So he says, it's very simple. Simple to read. Yes, savlon. It's all about savlon, patience, yeah? Tolerance. But Penny, what does tolerance really mean? Tolerance means, like, if this shetach here, this piece of wood, has tolerance, that means I could spill my coffee on it and then I could just wipe it off. Our tolerance means you're unaffected by what's happening to you and around you. The only way to have that type of tolerance is ayin, and if you have ayin, you're completely tolerant. So I say just accept. If you just accept another human being, so it's not patience. It's more than patience. It's tolerance. It's to be sovel. A sovel, a sabal, can carry a refrigerator and a washing machine on his head all at the same time, and he's not feeling the weight because he has it on a certain way. He's sovel. We don't talk about a person who has yisurim. He also sovel yisurim. Everybody has yisurim. Everybody. I haven't met anybody that's like putter from going through things in life. Everybody's got their things, But everyone's got their stuff. But it's not about the stuff. It's about being sovel, but savlanus, as we call it, savlanut, is just one small piece of that whole picture.
Didn't we say it was another?
Same thing. As we go, read the next word.
Maybe are we talking about, this parish is talking about the Jew? It's talking about the Ben Adam that's created, the Tzelem Elokim.
Ben Adam. The Jews, we get to know the secret. I'm going to skip for a minute to the next chapter just because I want to bring out the point. But I started learning the Eitzes Chachma of the Rabbi Chaim Vital. I started learning myself. Eitzes Chachma, it's a very difficult sefer, and it's a very short sefer. So the Eitzes Chaim, just a little bit of history. The Eitzes Chaim is like when the Arizal gave shir. So there was, I believe, 7 Talmidim that came to the shir, and they all wrote down what the Arizal said. And it was like Arizal was one of the most impressive people in history. I mean, he died when he was 32 or 33 years old or something. And these were 6 Zakanim for the most part. They were writing down, and it was just Giluyim Nifloim. It's just amazing what he says. And you can't make this stuff up. I mean, just the gematrias and it was just like Min HaShamayim, like a funnel Min HaShamayim just flowing into the world. Anybody who like all the the historians that talk about Kabbalah or that, and they haven't read it actually. Like if you actually read it, because like the Chumash, you can maybe you can become you could be an Apocalypse a little bit, but you can't. This is like clear Giluyim. So anyways, they all wrote it down. But before the Arizal died, when he was on his deathbed, he said that the only one who was allowed to print out or be befitz what I said is Rabbi Chaim Vital. That's what he said. So he died, and Rabbi Chaim Vital had his notebook. After the Arizal died, so he said, I decided that I don't want to print this. I don't want to give this out. So he kept it for himself. He didn't feel it was the right thing for the generation. And everybody was pressuring him, and he wouldn't do it. And then he writes this as himself. This part of it. And then he had a son, and the son died, and he went through this Yisurim and that Yisurim. And people thought, the other Talmidim and the Arizal thought that maybe the reason why he's going through so much Yisurim is because he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So they stole it from him. They went into his house in the middle of the night, and they stole the ksavim. And the other Talmidim, they hired, I think, he writes, not this already, the G-Dly already, writes that they took 60 people that could write, 60, and they gave them each 6 pages, and they just wrote all night long, and then they put it back, and Rabbi Chaim Vital didn't notice, and this whole thing, and they had it. And then Rabbi Chaim Vital said to Seder, okay, I'll print it. So he gave them, he says, let me just go over what you wrote. So he went over what he wrote, and he wrote Ha'aretz, and then he took it and he buried it. He wouldn't give it back to them. So so that it was
last lift.
To start up with Rabbi Chaim Vital. So, but he did write the Ha'aretz on the whole thing, and then he buried it. So when the Chida, 150 years later, the Chida came to Eretz Yisrael, to Tzfas, they had a Messiah where it was buried, and he asked permission of the Gedolei Hadar if he could disinter the Ksavim, and they told him yes. And he took it out, and he was able to. It was in a jug, so he was able to read it and copied it out exactly with Rabbi Chaim Vital's Aris, and that's the Sefer Eitzes Chaim that we have. We have that Sefer.
When do we begin?
When
do we begin?
After Nefesh HaChaim. It's not an easy Sefer. So what's interesting is that all this I'm just telling you to stop a little interesting piece of history, but all this I'm telling you to tell you that before that Chaim Vital wrote I wouldn't even say a Hakdama letter that he wrapped around the Sefer, and he said anybody who's going to ever learn this Sefer, so anybody who's ever going to learn this Sefer must read and fulfill this letter first. And so the letter is like just a wild letter. Like he says, like if before you learn it, you can't eat meat or drink wine for the whole week. You shouldn't eat anything during the day b'chlal. Fasting, and you have to go to the mikveh X amount of time, a whole bunch of things. But in the footnote, from Rafrish, all of a shalom, so he writes that you don't have to do all that. You don't have to shrill their madregas, you don't have to do it. We don't really understand it anyway, so what do you have to Okay, so I'm going with the frisch heter. Shitas frisch. But so he starts off like this. This is the thing I wanted to say, and it'll become more nagaya as we go along. But what he says is that before anybody's makabel on them, the whole book is about spheros. The whole book's about spheros, and we're learning about spheros. So before we, he said, before we're makabel to understand and to act these spheros in the nefesh ha'adam. Look, here we're working with the ayin. He's starting right from the top. He says that the main thing is that we have to be b'shalom. Now everybody knows what shalom means, but what does it mean? So he says shalom means like you think it means that you have achdus. You can't learn unless there's achdus. There has to be shalom. Maybe shalom means peace of mind. Peace in your household. But this is bracha. The spheres are bracha, and there's no kli that can hold bracha except for shalom. So in order to be a kli for the spheres, you must be b'shalom. If you're not b'shalom, you have a crack. Everything just falls right through. If the kli is atum from upstairs, from out, nothing goes in. Even if it goes in, it'll come out if there's no shalom. Do you know what? You can feel this a little bit. Like so much goes in, but like person's not at peace. Like it's like a leaky gut, a leaky neshama, leaky nefesh. It's just not. You're not holding what it is you're doing. But then he says that v'lachem, since you have to be b'shalom because ein kli machzik bracha, my hashalom. So a person has to be haser kas milibay legamri. You have to completely get rid of kas. Now, there's two things here. First of all, why is kas the opposite of shalom? What he's saying, Rabbi Chaim Vital is saying, is that since you have to be shalom, get rid of kas. You have to be b'shalom, so give shalach manas. You have to be b'shalom, so sing together, and there's all kinds of things to do to be b'shalom. Buy your wife a gift, but he says you have to get because why is kas the opposite of shalom? So I think the way to understand this is, and he says this as he goes on in the next sentence. It's a simple sentence from the. I'm not talking any Kabbalah here. Simple stuff that kas is that crack that exists in the kli. And when we think of kas, he points out, we think of kas as like ranting and raving and yelling and being violent, and I'm screaming, I lost my temper. We say kas is like a lack of even-temperedness. But that's not really what kas is. I once on a plane, I had the six-hour discussion with this stranger who was a psychologist, but I was impressed with his really insightful Israeli guy, very insightful person. We're talking. So I mentioned to him b'meshech hadvarim. I said, talk about anger. So I said, Baruch Hashem, like I have a lot of problems, but I don't have an anger issue. So he looks at me, he says, I don't know, you look very angry to me. I do. Now, I don't know if I do or I don't, but I'm not the point here. The point is that, I'm learning anger is you lose your temper. So I don't scream at anybody. I don't do anything. But if inside, if there are things that are things about your environment, things about people you're dealing with, things about yourself even, that are upsetting you, so then there is anger cooking inside.
And I have peace.
And you don't have peace. So that's the opposite of shalom. In other words, we're not talking about necessarily we're throwing dishes or shooting guns. That's not the kas that we're talking about. That that's a different. That's like more in the world of halach l'maisa, in the world of manifesting your anger. So of course it's better it's better, at least physically, to not manifest your anger than to manifest your anger. Psychologically, it's not a drug. Like, get it out of your system. But the point is, it shouldn't be in your system. The point is that anger, whether it's manifest or not, maybe even more so when it's not, is the crack in the vessel which makes us into a kli which is not machzik bracha. You with me on this?
Yeah.
Forbearance?
I don't know what that word means, but I mean I know what it means. The shleimus is shalom. Shalom is lashon shalom. Shleimus.
Anytime you're not happy with something, that's
Yeah, shalom. Ani lo shalom. I'm not shalom. Shalom is shleimus. Same word.
Are we expected?
Shleimut.
Are we expected to be showing everything's not
It's an
possible?
avodah for life.
This is an expectation.
Expectation is to work on it every single day.
How could we do everything out there?
I'll tell you, so he's going to explain to us how. It's very simple, by being a savlon. I say simple, like let's get the logic.
mm-hmm.
If a person's a savlon, so it means to say, if I'm ayin, me ayin yavo yezri. Now I have to be ayin. See, I know in Shema Esrei we say, every day, the end we say, nafshi ka'afar, lakol tiyah.
Yeah.
So the way I understand that of nafshi ka'afar lakol tiyah is afar as such. It doesn't, like if it rains on the afar, it's just there. It doesn't spit back at you. It doesn't. You walk on it, you spit on it. Like afar is a huge amount of tolerance. All right, afar. You walk on afar. So the afar is anoichi afar ve'efer. Afar. The offer is as close to ayin as we can get. Maybe even we can do better. But what his lashon here is, yes, savlon lispol bizyonos, v'chalishas das. What's chalishas das? Disappointment. Right?
Has Kalishas das? It's not self-doubt.
No, chalishas das is disappointment. I have a chalishas hadas. I thought it was a certain way. I thought I was over this thing. I thought it was finished. And here it is again.
Jarring. It's like a jarring experience.
It's a very jarring experience. Chalishas hadas. Disappointment. Lo aleichem v'lo aleinu, but just imagine for a moment like a feeling that you go to take your yearly checkup at the doctor and you feel fine. How do you feel? Feel fine. Well, sorry, you're very sick. Like, what, you should never know what that feels like. But, like, what does that feel like?
Perfect example is Aaron HaKohen when his 2 children were taken.
A what? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
So that's chalishas hadas. There's a chalishas hadas, like das. Like my das was everything is okay. I thought I had here a few weeks ago. A woman came and she was talking about how she wants to split up with her husband. She wants to break her marriage, and talking to her, and she says the problem is that her husband is completely oblivious to this. Like, he thinks we have a great relationship. Completely oblivious. So I said, how could it be? Yeah, because they have a very civil, but whatever. So let me speak to your husband. So I spoke to the husband. So I said to him by opening lines, I want to speak to you about your shalom bias. He says, I have perfect shalom bias. Well, it's about to get better. I mean, I couldn't break it to him that his wife hates him. There's a certain, I couldn't bear to see the chalishas hadas. Okay, and we did talk about it, and he said, everything's fine. Everything's really fine,
Something that really,
Yeah, it's It's interesting. But denial is not savlanus. Savlanus is, here's a situation. I'm not going to become broken by it. Let me be matzeh b'matzeh. Let's see what we have to do. But the point is, if I just get chalishas hadas, so then all that happens is I get very angry. And whether you're screaming angry or inside angry, but you're angry. And the anger gets you nowhere. Because the anger, all that does is makes a hole in the clean, a little bit of bracha that you have starts pouring out, leak. That's what happens. So, I'm not here to give Shalom Bayis counseling, but I'm just saying what I know.
Rebbe, can I ask a question? The beginning of this, some of the word, it says Kodesh Baruch Hu Sovel Elmo. That was the
Parak Aleph, yeah.
Right. That's how we started the Sefer. Does that mean the Kodesh Baruch Hu was disappointed?
No. No, it means he's not. It means that he's not. It means that he's sofel. Instead of having a chalishas hadas, Hashem is b'bechinas ayin. And since he's b'bechinas ayin, he's able to be sofel. It's b'diuk hafuch. That what we wouldn't be able to do, what the Torah says, Masha eina seichel yachol l'tzayir. That's what the Moshe and the Torah. Seichel can't be mashayir, such a thing. That we're biting the hand that feeds it. Who could not be angry about such a thing? Who could not pull away your hand? So, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a soivel. So when we're talking about soivel, the only way you can do that is it's b'bechinas ayin. Once we understand HaKadosh Baruch Hu is above feelings and above nefesh and above gashmius and above all that, we have a part of us that the nefesh adam that can do that. So we have that part of us. And by the way, I think this part is the difference between a good man and a great man. Because a great person, so it doesn't really make any difference. Like a Rabbi Kiva, if I'm living, if I'm dying, it doesn't really make any difference. He's ayin. Doesn't make any difference. Do I like that feeling of the rakes going on my skin? I mean, it wasn't a mashegana. The point is, he was sofa. He was sofa because there was a bechina of ayin there. Complete savlanus. That's what savlanus really means. So, yes, savlan lismo bizyoinos chalishas hadas chirufin v'gidufin, insults and curses. Ba'ava ubelev sameach. What is this? V'lo, and here's the symptom. Here's how you know if you're doing it or if you're fooling yourself. Lo yeh noikem v'noiter. There's no nekama. There's no nekama. I just want to hold your finger on that place, and if you have the sheet, you have a sheet, Darren, while we ran out. If you just look at the next column for a second, right before the words Beinayin, you see that? So he's going further on this, but I just want to show you how he ends up, so we don't get the wrong idea. He says, Afal Pikain, if somebody's cursing you, and if somebody's talking lashon hara about you, and if somebody's hurting you, Afal Pikain, l'meicha shmiya bay. The halacha is that l'meicha shmiya bay. So we always translate that as somebody's talking, you have to be choshesh. L'meicha shmiya bay, you feel something, shaloi tachniya atzmacha lifnei hasoinei. You still can't be machniya yourself in front of the sonei. So this is a very complicated dance here that we're doing. You see, like lahavdallah of havdallas, like the Yashka thing, the Christian thing, is to turn the other cheek. So the truth is, like, almost right, but very wrong. You don't find such a concept. I mean, it does say "Shiasteru lechi," Yavir lechi. It does say such a thing, but I think it's out of context. L'meicha shmiya boy doesn't mean that a person has to let somebody step on you and spit on you and hurt you. That's not what it means. But before you get to it can't be out of nekama. You got me, I'm going to get you. It can't be payback. It can't be revenge. It can't be. Revenge is a very deep thing. You hurt me, I'm hurting now, and I'm going to hurt you back. It doesn't mean that you have to let somebody shoot you. I should tell you something like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, or whatever. So somebody sent me a 2-minute clip from Shlomo Carlebach email. I was looking at my email. So this is Shlomo Carlebach giving a speech at the Kaisel. So I don't know what was going on then. I know what's going on now, but I'm not sure what was going on or when exactly that was and what was happening. But there was no singing in this clip. I wanted to go to sleep with a little bit of music. Instead, I was up all night thinking about this. What he says was that, like, it's an unbelievable. What he was talking about is that, that he says, doesn't the world see like what an unbelievable chutzpah that after the Shoah and after everything that the Jews have been going through, when we finally got a little piece of land. We're not talking about millions of miles. The Arabs have millions of miles, a little piece of land, and now they want to take back half of it. Like the chutzpah, and he's screaming at the Kaiser, screaming, literally, chutzpah! Chutzpah! Everyone's, yeah, man, that sounds like a Baptist thing, He kept screaming, it was just like 10 times, chutzpah! You gotta do this. Then he says like this, he says, Bill Shoinai, he says, but I want you to know, he says that the Arabs are Tzalam Alekim. He says, and I mamash love them. He said, mamash loves them. He says, I'm just asking Hashem, can't they be a little sweeter? Stop cutting off people's heads and stop shooting people while they're eating dinner, and just a little sweeter, This was just good. But it's I'm just saying what he was struggling with, but I'm saying like it's such a difficult struggle that we're in because it's not echad. It's just crazy, like animals, to shoot people, stab people, kill people randomly. I mean, who does that? The mafia doesn't do that. They kill people to have a reason, it kills people randomly, just randomly killing people. It's just like nuts, torturing people, beheading people. It's like nuts. Mitzad echad. Mitzad sheni, and this is what he says here at the end, that nobody's you can't stand like an idiot lifnei asayne. That's what he says here, right? You can't be machnier yourself lifnei asayne. You need to do what you have to do. You have a tzahal, and you need to take precautions, and you need to shoot people. That's what you need to do.
Ways?
So, but mitzad sheni, because one's internal. And one's external. You have to do what you have to do, but is it possible for at least a Jew to be able to do it not as revenge, and not because I'm in pain and I'm causing pain? I'm doing it. It's tzava hagana liYisrael. I'm doing it to protect ourselves and our people. Mitzvah gedola, I'm not like I ask these guys for brachas when I see them, but it's unbelievable. But the point is that it's not because you're what's the kavod. It's not because we really hate these people. Thank you for killing them. It's again. I'm not talking about how much I'm so far from because I mamish hate them.
Join the club.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and I'm taking a very extreme level. I mean, I could be talking about our wife, like it's not it's not beheading you physically. But what I'm saying is though I'm saying he's going even to like what he was doing. Carlebach was doing is like presenting a conflict, which is like mamish the Jewish. To me, it was like mamish the Jewish conflict. Like on the one hand, chutzpah, and you got to kill them, and invade them, and do whatever you need to do, bomb them, do whatever you have to do. On the other hand, like there shouldn't be a drop of sinah here. There can't be a drop of nekama here. This is not the Jewish way. This is different. The Christian way is just get bombed. Go ahead, give us some more. That's not the derech. The derech is that you have to stand up and you can't be machniah yourself. That's the Jewish way. The Jewish way, which makes it so difficult, because if you're not machniah yourself, how do you do that? How do you shoot another person? You have to be full of hate at that moment. Or no, or maybe you can be full of Ava. Like Avas Yisrael, Ava humanity, Ava normal people, Ava, like, I can't, Ubiarta hara mikirbecha. 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 Not just the community, mikirbecha. So, I'm sorry, I went over the time here. Got to finish my Shabbos. Let's just finish this paragraph, please. Lo yenoike v'noitim ki ha'or v'hadvekus v'hanoyim ziv hashchina yafriach mimenu kol eile. Being the shchina, ziv hashchina will push all that away. V'yadoyim lekeser makor harachmim. So important to learn that rachamim. I didn't know this. I thought rachamim was some kind of a cross between chesed and gevurah. Rachamim is coming from the keser. It's a new place where there are no midos. There is no chesed. There is no gevurah. There is no tiferes. It's above that. Rachamim. Like by us, rachamim means before we process it. I just have rachmanos. Before we process it, magiel lecha, lo magiel lecha, rachamim. Pre-processed feelings. Kar rachamim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'lo yikanes lefanav, shum pigam, v'shum sina, v'lo shum din. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the place of keser, where there's no din, there could be rachamim because our chesroinus don't even get there. The pigam and the bria don't even get there. V'lo shum din, shim na'eum, l'ashkeach melarachim, l'ashvil ha'heitav, v'kol atzrichim tuvasai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's the default sort of like gut feeling is toiv. Afilu l'soinav. Shiratfu achachayev layashum bria. Now he's talking about us. Layashum bria bezuya be'einav layivza shum nimsa. Elohuya nivza be'einav belev sameach malay or v'chiyus. See, there's just like and with this I was invited a few months ago to speak at the Torah dinner. They asked me to speak about Rav Scheinberg. Rav Scheinberg is my Rebbe and almost a parent for almost 50 years. So I spoke about Rav Scheinberg. So Rav Scheinberg did a good job. Up on the head table there was a fellow by the name of Schron, so he's one of the richest Jews in the world, Ruby Schron. He was there. So he says to me right after I spoke, he said, wow, he says, like, how long did it take you to prepare that speech? So I told him 47 years. The point is, like, you know, if somebody prepares a speech for 20 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, so you're getting the fruit of 2 hours. But in this particular, I can't say, but in this particular speech, it wasn't preparing at all. It was everything that I was. I didn't prepare for a minute. I mean, I organized, but it didn't require preparation because it was min hagot, min halei, min haneshama, min hanefesh. It was a whole different thing. Somebody speaks about somebody they love. It's coming from a whole different place. The makom of ayin is dafka lamala min haseichel, where it's not like Ava Mekalkelis is Ashura. Mekalkelis is Ashura. That's what Ava is. First, it's not logic. It's above logic. We have a problem. Let's deal with it logically. But the first yisoid that he's saying, first yisoid of the Torah Devorah is to be mistabek b'midas hakeser. And Mir Hashem, on Thursday we'll fast.
Right.